Hello everybody. I bet you're wondering about what this Re-Calibrate110 is all about. I know you're on Facebook right now in a special group hearing about it, and I encourage you to invite some of the friends maybe I don't have as friends on Facebook that have come to the fellowship or have that know us and would appreciate something like this. Go ahead and you go ahead and invite them. I think that would be a great idea. But anyway, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be telling you about Re-Calibrate 110. After Kristen's presentation last Shabbat, I was very motivated to take what she taught about, which were the 7 species of the land, and incorporate that into a healthy way to eat. And of course, we're going to eliminate a lot of things along the way. But this diet is our answer this year to getting healthy. I know this is a campaign we do every year at the beginning of the year. But this time we're going to start it on February 11th. And there's a reason, actually February 10th, and there's a reason why we're doing that. And I'll be explaining that in just a few minutes. But those of you who weren't there at the teaching, I sent some notes in a post just this morning about the 7 species. And I encourage you to read the information that I sent concerning these species. We're going to go through them just real quickly so you'll know what these species are and how important they are to your diet. Now, it says in Deuteronomy 8 through 10 that God gave these foods to the people of Israel as it's a blessing from the land. And it's very interesting because in Israel, it's very harsh. The harsh conditions there for growing anything is kind of unbelievable and unprecedented for things like this to grow there. But it's fertile and it grows, and it has to be by the hand of God. The climate is so perfect with the rain in the right season and just the amount of sun that these things can grow. And it shows that God is in control of these wonderful species that are being grown from the ground right there in the heart of Israel. But there are 7 of them, and there's actually an 8th one, but it doesn't go into the 8th one in Deuteronomy 8 through 10. But I am going to go through the 7, and then I'll actually talk a little bit about the 8th one as well. And these foods we're going to be incorporating into this lifestyle of eating. And with it comes a blessing. That's what's so fantastic about this. It's not that these are just good for you, and these foods are wonderful for your body. They're fantastic. They have antioxidants, and they're nutritious. They have all these vitamins and proteins, and they get rid of diseases, actually. They've been known to cure cancers and diabetes and arteriosclerosis. And it's just amazing what these foods can do and how they can bring health and nutrition to your body, more so than probably any other food that's out there. These are the best ones, except for the first 2. And the first one is wheat. And the problem is, even though this was a staple food back in those days, in the ancient times, now it's really a poison. And it's interesting because wheat used to be so healthy. It had so much nutritional base in it. But now there's been all this hybridization and cross-pollination. The one gene wheat now has become like 10 or 16, I don't know how many different genes of all these different hybridization of other wheats. And of course the implementation of gluten has caused all kinds of health issues. Well, we know that Jesus talks about, he looks up and he sees the fields are white for harvest. He's talking about the wheat. And what he's alluding to is that these are the souls of men. And so wheat has to do with, it's about man. It's about connecting on a salvation level, bringing people into the kingdom. And this is really awesome because, well, it's not so awesome because now that we have polluted our wheat with glutens, it makes you kind of wonder, is there something going on between our ability to really reach out and bring souls into the kingdom? There's been a pollution in that area. And so it kind of shows the condition of man. And then the second one is barley. And it also has gluten in it. There's not a barley out there that doesn't have some gluten in it. But it's significant for restraining and having temperance in life. And so with eating this food, there comes temperance. And I feel like that's the blessing that God puts on this food. And because there is temperance in it, I think that one should probably monitor how much they put into their body. It kind of goes with that same idea. But I want to read to you some scriptures concerning the wheat. It says, Yeshua put before them a parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while people were sleeping, the enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, then went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads of grain, the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where have the weeds come from? He answered, An enemy has done this. And I really feel like man has been an enemy to God's food. And he's tampered with it. He's polluted it. He's perverted it. And so now we can't have the wheat that we used to have back in the ancient times. There is one wheat that I think, after doing some research, it's called einkorn, and if you look for it, there's several of them that are very, I think, pure, or as pure as you can get, having only 2 genes in the wheat itself. And so einkorn wheat is an answer to putting this wheat staple in our diet. And I think it would probably be the best way to do it. Now, it only comes like in flour form. Jovial, I think, is a brand name. There's a couple other ones I heard about. We have the flour. There's also a spaghetti that's totally all whole grain einkorn wheat. And there's a few other products that you might want to get that aren't processed. So I recommend that. And then for barley, using it sparingly, as the Lord would have you to do it. But here's the scripture concerning barley. But each after his own order, the Messiah is the first fruits, then those who belong to the Messiah. Barley is the very first fruit that comes from the ground in harvest. And so